All right, so hi everyone. My name's Alana. I'm the person behind Starfield Energies, and I'm glad you've decided to come and practice with me tonight. This is the Thursday night slowdown, so we'll be getting nice and cozy on our mats. We'll definitely be using a good amount of props. So if you have like some throw pillows or bigger pillows that you want to grab, or blocks would also be really helpful for tonight's practice if you have some blocks. So go ahead and get yourself situated. I think everyone got the Spotify playlist at this point, but if not, my name on Spotify is Alana Sands, and the name of the playlist is Speak Your Truth, Throat Chakra Yoga. So I'm going to start that now. I know you won't really be able to hear it, but you can just kind of play it along if you want, or just listen and practice without any music. So I'll invite you tonight to start in supported fish. We're going to be doing a lot of work on the throat chakra, so talking about clear communication. And with that comes just releasing some stress in the shoulders and the neck. So supported fish is a lovely place to begin if you haven't done this pose before. It's basically a supported heart opener. So if you're working with just like some throw pillows, you can put them right at the top of your mat, and you're going to lower yourself and your upper back down onto your pillows, and maybe let your head kind of fall back a little bit to really open your throat chakra. Oh, someone else is opening their throat chakra right now. You can hear Conan yelling at me. And then you can extend your legs out long. Hi, buddy. Or if it's more comfortable for you to bend your knees and plant your feet, you can do that. And if you do have blocks that you want to work with, what I like to do is put one kind of vertical and one horizontal. So the vertical one can nestle right between my shoulder blades, and my head can rest on the horizontal one. So find a comfortable position that works for you. Oh, this is like feeling so good for me already. I hope everyone's in agreement about this. And just start to arrive on your mat. Start to get settled in. Find some stillness here. Letting go of your day. Letting go of any stress or anxiety that it took you to get here. Maybe you were rushing because you were in the garden, like my mom had shared. Or maybe you didn't get the link, and that can be stressful. So whatever your story is right now, just notice if you can let it go and start to arrive in the present moment. I'm gonna just start out with sending a little bit of distance Reiki, just to connect us all. Anyone that's practicing right now, or practicing whether it's with us or someplace else in the world. I found out earlier today that today is World Meditation Day. So like always, we will definitely be including some meditation in this practice. One of my teachers, Marlene Boyette, was the one who shared this with me, so it's extra special to me. So I know that word meditation comes with a lot of weight sometimes, so try to bring it some airiness to it, or some lightness, and think about what it could mean for you, where your meditation practice is. Maybe it's mindfulness, where you just start to recognize the things happening in and around you. So noticing the connection that your shoulders have to the mat or to your blocks or pillows. Noticing your spine and whether it feels long and expansive, or maybe a little bit tight or sore. Notice the length of your legs all the way down to your feet. And if you can feel any temperatures or physical sensations in the feet. Draw your attention back up the ankles and legs, up to the thighs and hips. Soften your belly. Take a deep breath and expand through your rib cage, filling up your heart space. And sigh it out through your mouth. Another deep breath in, watching that breath as it enters your body. Sighing it out. See if you can relax your shoulders a little more as you do this. One more time, filling all the way up with air. And then releasing. Softening all the muscles in your neck and your face, your jawline, your eyes, your forehead. And I'll invite you tonight to work with the energy of the King of Pentacles. So the sun just moved into Gemini, and tomorrow morning we'll have a new moon in Gemini. And the sun was moving out of Taurus, and the moon is currently in Taurus still, at least here in Massachusetts. So there's kind of this weaving together of these energies, this energy of grounding and stability, and this energy of lightness and ether and sound and communication. So maybe you set an intention around where those two things meet. And if you're having trouble with that, I'd like to share that I just started reading again The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I'm not sure if anyone's read it, but it's an amazing book. I highly recommend it. And the first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. So we'll be exploring a little bit about what that means tonight. What it means to be impeccable with your word. Take one more deep breath and start to bring a little bit of movement back into your body. Maybe you just start with wiggling the fingers and toes. And if you are in that supported fish, maybe you open your eyes and start to gently roll over onto one side, moving your props off to the side. And then come back down to your back. And let's bend the knees and plant your feet. And allow your hands your arms to be nice and heavy on the mat with your palms up, ready to receive. And just start nice and gently engaging the core and windshield wiping the legs back and forth. Noticing how this feels in the low back and spine. Just finding some nice gentle movement. And then find some stillness. And draw the knees toward the chest, clasping either around the shin or the knees. And again, maybe you move, rocking side to side, or draw some little circles on the ceiling with your knees to give that low spine a nice massage here. This whole time, really engage the midline. Notice if you can be strong in the core. Try to relax your shoulders and your neck into the mat. Bring some ease to your face. And we'll start to rock and roll frontwards and backwards. A couple times. Be playful, have fun with it, let it feel good. And when you're ready to rock all the way up, pause here for a moment. You can keep your toes on the mat. We'll come into a supported Navasana, a boat pose. So maybe your practice is here tonight. You can clasp behind the knees for a little extra support and really lengthen that spine. So feel the crown of your head moving up toward the sky, away from your tailbone. And if you feel an alignment here and have further to go, maybe 1 foot at a time, you start to lift the feet off the mat. Engaging that core again. And again, if you have further to go, maybe you release your hands, but keep that integrity in the spine. You could start to straighten your legs a bit. Take 1 breath here, and then exhale, come up to a seated position. Nice work. Getting a little fire in the belly already. Okay, so I would like to actually start with a mantra, which is something I haven't really taught before, so bear with me. But it's a mantra, actually there's 2 different mantras we're going to do between this practice. And the first one is to help clear the throat chakra and refine our energies and really help us resonate in our voice. So the sound we're going to make is the sound E, like in the word speak. So find some length in the spine, sit up nice and tall here. Really relax the shoulders down. And maybe you bring your hands into a mudra. You could tuck in the pinky and the ring finger on each hand, and then bring the pointer and the middle finger to your thumb. This is a great mudra for manifesting. So creating that seal, that mudra here, and see if you can match the resonance of my voice. Just go with it. If you hate it, you don't have to do it. So we'll start with our mantra with a nice deep breath and pretty much chant it throughout our whole breath cycle for about 3 rounds of breath. You can close your eyes if you want to, you can smile, you can stare at how goofy I look, totally up to you. Feeling one more. Find some stillness. Just let that vibration sink in for a moment. See if you feel any changes within you, around your space, in your body. We'll release that mudra, and on our next inhalation, we'll scoop our hands up toward the sky, bringing the palms to kiss, and exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, hands to the heart. Maybe you look up to the sky, stretch that neck a little bit. One more time, big inhale, arms rise. Big exhale, sighing it out. Now bring your hands to either side of you to tented fingertips, and then start to walk your hands a little more behind you. So your shoulder blades are coming toward one another. Check in with your midline that you're not starting to sink here. Really lifting yourself away from the pelvic floor, drawing your shoulder blades together and down your back. Find some spaciousness between the collarbones. Take a deep breath in, feel it go into your belly first, and then expanding the rib cage, and then up into the chest. Sigh out the mouth. On our next inhale, look up toward the sky. And then exhale, bring your chin toward your chest. Inhale, your gaze rises. And exhale, chin to chest. Bringing your hands back to your thighs or your knees, keeping your chin tucked. Start to find some gentle movement in the neck. Maybe you just start out with bringing your right ear toward your right shoulder and left ear toward your left shoulder. Or if you're feeling open enough, you could allow your head to move in full circles, but just be really gentle with the back of your neck. Notice if your jaw is tight, if your eyes are starting to clench, and just back off a little bit. Bringing your head back to neutral, then bring your gaze over your left shoulder. Excuse me, over your left shoulder. Pausing here, relax the shoulders down your back still. And then inhale back through center. Exhale, looking over your right shoulder. Inhale back through center, going to the opposite side. Take 3 more rounds on your own breath cycle. Coming back to neutral. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Again, just as far as it wants to go without pushing too far. And you can reach your right arm up and bring it up and over, placing your right hand on the left side of your ear. On your left ear. That was a weird way to say it. You can stay here, or you can extend the left arm out, tent those fingertips. And I was playing with this a little bit the other day. Maybe you play around with lifting that left arm, nice and gently, finding where that stretch feels best. One more inhale. And on the exhale, gently release the hand, bringing your head back up. Do a couple shoulder rolls to just reset here. And we'll take it to the other side. So now bringing left ear toward left shoulder. Notice right away if there's a difference from one side to the other. And then you might bring that left hand up and over to place it on your right ear. And again, check in with those shoulders, allow them to be heavy, allow gravity to do its job. And maybe you reach out with tented fingertips in your right arm. You could stay here. Or maybe you play with floating the arm, moving it slowly up and down. You can move it side to side if that feels good, front to back. On the next inhalation, fill up with air. And exhale, release your hand down to the mat. And let's do some nice shoulder rolls. So inhaling your hands, your shoulders up toward your ears. And exhaling them behind you. Feel into this. And then maybe you switch directions. Your arms could move in circles. This could be as big or as small as you want. Maybe a couple more little neck rolls here. Hopefully we're feeling nice and loose already. So now we'll make our way to a tabletop position. Stacking your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees under your hip points. And really, my friend Shay, who's here, likes to talk about really pushing into that L shape that your pointer finger and your thumb are making to help take some pressure off your wrists. So really feel yourself pushing fully into your fingers, even into the fingertips here. And then check in with your spine. So notice your tailbone moving toward the back of your mat, the crown of your head moving toward the front. And once we are in alignment, we'll do some cat-cows. So inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the chin, peeling the heart through. And exhale, rounding the spine, tucking the chin, push away from the mat. Inhale to cow. Exhaling to cat. Rounding the spine, bringing that belly button toward the spine. Take a few more on your own breath and feel free to bring any extra movement into it, like looking over one shoulder and then the next, or bringing some hip circles into it. Feeling yourself grounded, supported here, and having some agency over your practice. Deciding what feels good for you tonight. Finding some stillness here. We'll inhale and reach the right hand up toward the sky. And then exhale, thread the needle, bringing that arm underneath the opening in the left arm and leg. Bringing the right shoulder down to the mat, allowing your ear to come down, forehead down. And your left arm can stay where it is, or you could reach it out in front of you. Or you could bring it around your back for a partial bind here. See if you can square off your hips and shoulders. And allow yourself to really be planted here. Think about any energies that are not serving you, any fears, stressors, things you're holding on to that you want to just deposit into the earth. On your next inhale, bring your left hand back next to your face, pushing through that palm, lifting the right hand up to the sky. Maybe you do a little wrist circle for this counter pose here. And return to your tabletop. Go through a round of cat-cow to just reset before we take it to the other side. Inhale, lifting your left arm this time, opening up the shoulders for a moment here. And then thread the needle on this side, bringing your left shoulder and head down to the mat. Right hand can reach out in front and come around the back. Notice if your hips, you want your hips to be right over your knees still. And again, sometimes there's a tendency for one of them to dip down, so see if you can square them off. And then do a little scan while you're here. Where can you let go? On the next inhale, bring that right hand back to frame your face. And inhale, lift up the left arm for that counter stretch. Make your way back to tabletop. One more round of cat-cow here. And then we'll tuck the toes, lift the hips high to the sky, and find your first down dog of our practice tonight. Pedal it out. Bending into one knee and then the other, really getting a whole stretch along the back of your legs. And find some stillness here, keeping your knees bent as much as they need to be. Keep that same feeling in your hands that we talked about in tabletop, really pushing into the L shape of your pointer and thumb. Feel your shoulders gliding down your back. Feel your head and allow it to be heavy. Maybe even shake out your head a little bit, shaking yes and no, allowing your neck to release. And then come up high on the balls of your toes. And then allow your heels to drop down toward the mat. They never have to touch, but they're working their way toward the mat. Bending your knees deeply, start to look forward and take a bunch of little baby steps up to the front of your mat and find yourself in a forward fold. You can keep your knees nice and bent if that feels good. We want the knees right over the ankles here. And maybe you even come into a ragdoll if that's something you enjoy, grabbing opposite elbows. Resting your belly on your thighs. Feeling your spine and vertebrae expanding. Releasing your hands back down, engage your core, and start to draw yourself up, pushing into your heels until you come all the way up to stand. Finding yourself in your mountain pose. And let's just check in with your alignment here. So in our mountain pose, your feet can be hips width distance or they can be together. It's personal preference. And we want our head right over our heart and our heart over our hips. Palms are facing toward the front of the mat. Shoulders gliding back and down. And imagine that there was a string attached to the very crown of your head, drawing you upward. And at the same time, your heels and your feet are grounding you, pulling you downward into the earth. We'll inhale, arms rise, palms kiss, maybe there's even a little back bend there. And exhale, hands come to the heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, come into a forward fold, bending the knees as much as you need to. Inhale, lift up halfway, find a nice flat back here. So your hands can come to your shins or your knees. We want to continue to find that length in the spine, drawing the shoulder blades back. And just notice if your weight is maybe a little more in the toes or a little bit more in the heels. See if you can find your center of balance here. I know we're engaging the core. If you want a little bit more, reach your hands out in front of you. So your arms are parallel with your ears. Try to relax the shoulders, relax the face. Big inhale. Exhale, bring your arms behind you, coming into airplane arms, palms pointing down toward the mat. Inhale, arms out in front of you. Exhale, airplane your arms. One more time. Inhale, arms come out. And exhale, forward fold. Pour it all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift one more time. And exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands and step back with one foot, then the other, finding yourself in a high plank. You can always drop down to the knees here if you need that support. We get the same effect. So you're feeling your heels moving toward the back of your mat. We're engaging the core, finding that mountain in this pose here. And on your next inhale, shift your weight forward just a little bit. Exhale, tuck your elbows nice and close to your side and lower all the way down to the mat. Coming down to the tops of your feet. Maybe say hi to your cat if he's harassing you like mine is. Hands are planted right underneath our shoulders. And we'll engage the legs here, really pushing into the tops of the feet. The whole leg is nice and strong. Knees might be lifted off the mat a little bit. Gaze is down still. Inhale, peel the heart away from the mat, coming into baby cobra. Try to bring your weight into your low and mid back here. So there's little to no weight in your hands. Take a big breath in. And exhale, come back down to the mat. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, release. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, release back down. Now bring your hands to tented fingertips. I think we've done this at least a couple times in our Thursday night slow down classes before. So draw your elbows up toward the ceiling, so you almost look like you have little spider legs. And then inhale, peel your heart off the mat once more. And exhale, dip your left shoulder. Your gaze comes over the right. Should be a really nice frontal shoulder opener here. Keep those legs engaged. Keep your core nice and strong. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale, coming back through center. Exhale, dip the right shoulder. Gaze comes over the left. Inhale, back to center. Let's do one more on each side, just connecting your movement with your breath. So exhale, lowering the left shoulder. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, lower the right. Inhale, back up to center. Plant your hands right underneath your shoulders once more. Push up through tabletop here. And then draw your big toes to touch. Allow your knees to come nice and wide and sit back into a child's pose. Allowing your forehead to come down to the mat, or you can grab a pillow or a block to support you here. Or if you want to bring your knees to touch and come into a regular child's pose instead of extended, that can be a really nice place to be as well. Reaching your arms forward, allowing your hips to sink down toward your heels. We'll be here for a few moments. See if you can really settle in and find a place that's comfortable for you. And I wanted to read to you about the first agreement of the 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your word. So Ruiz talks about the word impeccable and how the root, the Latin word peccatus, actually means sin. And the prefix im means without. Yes, I do teach 5th grade. So hopefully everyone knows their prefixes here. So being impeccable actually means being without sin. And he talks about that, you know, in religion and organized doctrines, we think of sin meaning one thing, but a sin is really anything that you do or say which goes against yourself. I'll say that one more time and just let that sink in. A sin is anything that you do or say which goes against yourself. Everything you feel or believe or say that goes against yourself is a sin. So we're programmed to sin against ourselves from a very young age. We'll let you think about that for a moment while we move into our next sequence here. So on your next inhale, come back up through tabletop. Tuck your toes and find your down dog. Maybe pedal it out once more. And then start to find some stillness, feeling heavy in the feet and the hands. And then we'll bend the knees, looking forward, walking, stepping or jumping to the front of the mat. Find a forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root down through your heels, rise all the way up, palms kiss overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, lift your right knee. Really ground down through the left foot. We'll just be here for a second. If you're having trouble balancing, find something in front of you that's not moving. We call that a dristi. Really focus in on it. And then step that right foot behind you, coming high up to your tiptoes, staying in this high lunge here. So your back heel is lifted, and bring your hands to your hips, making sure that they're still squared with the front of the mat. And if you're having trouble balancing here, you can widen your stance, toe heel your left foot a little more to the left side of your mat, almost as if you were standing on 2 railroad tracks. Engage the core here. We build our poses from the ground up, just like when we're planting a seed. We have to dig down deep, find our roots, and then we can rise. So on your inhale, when you're feeling nice and sturdy, lift your arms above your head, finding your high lunge. We want that same concept of our strong mountain pose here. Head over heart, heart over hips. Relax the shoulders down the back. Keep a little gentle bend in the elbows here. Gaze is right out in front of you. And breathe. And just notice where your mind goes. Are you sinning against yourself? Are you sinning against me? Are you saying, WTF, when are we gonna move? I'm ready. I've definitely had that experience in class before. Take one more big breath in. Maybe you lift your gaze. And then exhale, cactus your arms, opening that heart. Inhale, scoop your arms down and rise them overhead. Exhale, cactus arms. Think about drawing your thighs toward one another if you're finding yourself off balance again. Inhale, scoop the ground, rising up overhead. And exhale, cactus. Inhale, arms rise. And then exhale, bring your hands back down to frame that front foot. Front foot meets the back. And you can move through a vinyasa if you'd like. Doing a chaturanga push-up, lowering down either half or all the way. Inhale for cobra, baby cobra, or up dog if it's in your practice. And exhale, pushing through tabletop, coming into down dog. We'll take 2 rounds of breath here. And on your next inhale, bend the knees, look forward, walk, step, or jump to the front of your mat. Find a forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, palms kiss overhead. Then exhale, hands to heart. Now maybe find that dristi first this time. Grounding down through your right foot. Bringing the weight into that right foot, start to lift your left leg. Maybe grabbing hold of your knee. Pausing here for just a moment. And then stepping that left foot back behind you, coming to the ball of your foot, to your toes. Maybe widening your stance a bit. You can keep your hands on your hips if that's comfortable, finding your foundation here first. Allow your back heel to really anchor you. So feel it pulling away from your low back. And feel your thighs drawn toward one another. And when you feel ready, inhale those arms up overhead. Really engage the core here, drawing everything into midline. Keep breathing. Keep noticing where your mind wanders to. And while we're here, we're going to do one more round of mantra. This one is to help us open the throat chakra, really allowing us to speak our truth. So this mantra, the sound is hum. So it's spelled H-A-M, like ham, because I'm a ham. Sorry, terrible. But it's pronounced kind of like but with an H at the front. Keep holding it, you got this. As you inhale and you speak your hum, maybe you lift your gaze a little bit. So big inhale. And maybe you move through that same sequence where on the exhale, we bring our arms to a cactus. And then inhale, rise up. Exhale, We're gonna do that 3 more times. Inhale, rise. Last one, make it count. Inhale, rise. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back in your high plank. And move through a vinyasa, or we'll meet straight in down dog. Nice work, everyone. And once you get into down dog, take a breath here. And then drop your knees, bringing the big toes to touch. Sitting back into child's pose once more. Notice your heartbeat. That was some tough work, especially with our chanting. So give yourself a little break. Allow yourself to settle again. And I want you to remember this quote from Ruiz once more about the human mind. The human mind is like a fertile ground where seeds are continually being planted. The seeds are opinions, ideas, and concepts. You plant a seed, a thought, and it grows. A word is like a seed, and the human mind is so fertile. The only problem is that too often it is fertile for the seeds of fear. Every human mind is fertile, but only for those kinds of seeds it is prepared for. What is important is to see which kind of seeds our mind is fertile for, and to prepare it to receive the seeds of love. So my hope and my constant practice, especially through yoga, is to observe the seeds that are in my mind, to think about their origin, where they've flown in from? And how can I replace any seeds of fear or doubt or pain with seeds of love? Take one more breath in your child's pose. And then start to walk yourself back up into a tabletop position. And allow yourself to come to one hip. And we'll wrap up our practice in a nice supported Shavasana today. So maybe grab those pillows once more like you found in your supported fish so that you can support your back here. Start to allow yourself to be lowered down onto your back, finding the legs wherever they feel comfortable. Maybe you bring the toes, the feet together and allow the knees to come wide for Supta Baddha Konasana. Or maybe you stretch them out for a more traditional Shavasana. Wherever you find yourself, if there's any last movements that are calling your name, like a twist or an inversion, feel free to take that now. Once you feel ready, allow your eyes to close. Allow your arms to be long at your sides. Your palms may be up if you need some energy, or maybe your hands are down toward the ground if you need a little bit of calmness and grounding. While you're in your Shavasana, we'll do a little bit of distance Reiki. Just allow yourself to be present here. Feeling your whole body melting into the ground. Relaxing your forehead, finding space between the brows. Allowing the eyelids to be gently closed. All the little muscles around the eyes released. Feel your cheeks hollow as you breathe. Your tongue resting into your mouth, peeled away from the roof of the mouth. And bring your attention to your throat. To your vocal cords, your esophagus, your upper spine, the back of your head, your neck, down to the shoulders. Picture a radiant, brilliant blue light shining there. The throat chakra is associated with sound and with the element of ether. So notice how spacious your throat chakra looks. Maybe it feels overactive, like you're constantly searching for someone to listen to you. Maybe it feels a little underactive, like you're shy and often afraid of speaking your truth. Visualize your chakra coming into balance, like a clear blue sky, radiating all around you, allowing you to find your voice, allowing you to be impeccable with your words. Moving your attention down to your heart space, feeling your heart open and ready to receive, willing to give. Noticing your belly, allowing it to be soft, allowing your hips to melt open, and your root to connect you with the earth. Follow your attention down the length of your legs, feeling their heaviness, feeling your muscles softening. Down to your ankles and feet, out through your heels and toes. Shedding anything that doesn't work for you anymore. Oh boy, there's about to be a cat fight. Hopefully you can't hear it. Sorry for anyone that just got disturbed by that. Well, I guess it's time to start to wake up the body once more. Wiggling your fingers and toes, or allowing your head to fall from one side and then to the other. And when you feel ready, choosing a side to roll over onto, and just pause there, thanking yourself for making time for your self-care tonight. Thanking yourself for showing up. And again, once you feel ready, making your way back up to seated, we can meet with our hands at our hearts. Your eyes can stay closed or your gaze can be soft. And we'll just close our practice with a collective hum. So let's take a nice big inhale. Thank you so much for joining me in practice tonight. May you be impeccable with your word. the light inside of me honors and bows to the light inside of you. Namaste. Thank you so much. Good job, everyone.